Hey everyone, Chuck Sinelli here with Coco's Italian Market and Coco's Travel. We're putting together a very special tour through Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria. And this time I'm teaming up with my friend and the legendary voice of the Nashville Predators, Pete Weber. And if you know Pete, you know he's never met a stranger. And what you've seen on the camera all these years, the quick wit, and you can just tell he's got a big heart. That's exactly who he is in real life. He's a total joy to be with, funny, and I guarantee one of the most fun people you could ever travel with. And joining us on the adventure is his amazing wife, Claudia. She's not in the video, but she'll be joining us. And actually, she's been to Italy with me and my mom. Not as famous as Pete, but equally joyful, wonderful, kind, charming. She'll bring another great element to this tour. Pete, he's an encyclopedia of stories and culture and insight. Honestly, our first interview ran over 30 minutes because he was so fascinating and hilarious, and stories about everything on this tour, and I was doing a lot of laughing, and so I had to cut it down. It's a little choppy, I apologize, but I had to cut this down. But really the most important thing I've learned after bringing over 600 guests to Italy through the years, it's not just about where you go and what you see, it's about who you're with. And that is just as important. The people, the conversations, the shared meals, and these unexpected moments, that's really where the magic is. And I've seen strangers become lifelong friends on these tours, and that's really what makes these tours unforgettable also. So, like all of the Coco's tours, they fill up pretty quickly, actually like a year in advance. So if you're thinking about it, go ahead and reserve your spot. There's no pressure. You can get your deposit back without any insurance 7 months prior to departure, but I'll talk about that at the end. Just enjoy the video. Sorry it's cut up, but I had to edit it for length and laughter. Anywho, I hope you'll end up traveling with us soon. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Ciao, and how do you say hello in German?
Grüß
Grisco, okay. This is Chuck Cinelli with Pete Weber. I have Coco's Italian Market. I've been doing tours to Italy, and it's kind of taken over my life. I have 7 tours this year. I've known Pete and Claudia forever, and we've been talking about Pete leading a tour to Germany, Austria for a long time, and it's finally coming to fruition. So we're combining my expertise of putting tours together that have been safe and fun and obviously hugely popular if I'm doing 7 this year. So I'm with Pete, and we are going to talk about the Switzerland to Austria to Bavaria tour. Bavaria is a part of Germany, but it's the fun part of Germany.
The southern fun part.
Yes, yeah, the Oompa Band part, as we've talked about before. The beer drinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fun.
That might be redundant.
Yes, that's hilarious. So you can see, folks, we're going to have a great time on this tour. So we hope you join us. And I'll talk about how I put the tours together later. But in the meantime, I thought Pete could tell you about why we chose this tour and also what the itinerary is. And then I'll go over what to expect and how do we sign up, and then what happens after you sign up and our meetup and things like that. All right. So Pete, you were in Austria, right, for a year?
The whole calendar year, basically, from August of 1970 until July of 71. Going to school, as they say.
Yes, going to school. I'm sure it was a great experience. I did 1 month with the College of St. Rose. It was just a little too much fun. So,
but for me, this is my favorite area of the world. When you get right down to it. I mean, Innsbruck, Salzburg, and then going over to Switzerland was always a lot of fun. And this, I think, will be even more fun for our fellow travelers.
Yeah, I think so. And I know you were there for the Predators. What year was that?
That was 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago. So 2022, going into both Prague and Bern, Switzerland.
Yeah, Bern is fantastic. Yeah, I was in Bern, and it's gorgeous. It's like a fairy tale.
Yeah. It very much is. If you're going back to the old kids' golden books, that will bring up memories of that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, let's talk about day one and just keep going. This is where Pete will come in.
with Pete's expertise and, of course, the local guide, you're going to have a great time. So where do we start, Pete?
Well, I think what we have to do is get ourselves on an airplane and fly overseas and get ready for that.
So 2 months before we travel together, we'll all meet at the restaurant. If you're locally, if you're not local, then I'll talk to you. I have a 20-page guide on international travel, and I go over that with you, like how many euros you need, like tips and tricks for relaxing on the plane. Hopefully you get some sleep. It's an overnight flight.
Yeah.
Because you arrive in Europe in the morning. And the cost of the tour includes the flight, and that doesn't matter where. It's not just out of Nashville. It can be from anywhere in the United States. If you do want to do your own flights, you generally get about $1,200, $1,250 off of the price. That's usually what the flights cost us. And then you can apply that towards your own flight. A lot of people have air miles.
Yeah.
But I'll help you with all that stuff like that. And if you do need help, I am a travel agent. I have some travel agents that work with me, so no problem there. But you're right. Yeah, day one, the flight.
And then if you want me to teach a class on how to sleep on an airplane, I can do that, because I've been doing it for years, and oftentimes I don't wake up until I hear the wheels or feel the wheels touch down.
Really? Wow. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Actually, I'm always wanting to learn. So like I do have my own system, which, we go over. So
we get ourselves to Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, is just think of Hans Christian Andersen and going around with all those fairy tales, because you're going to live it once we touch down and get out on the streets.
That sounds great. Yeah, Bern, like I said, it is magical. We usually land in Europe, say 9 o'clock-ish. We get to the hotel, we'll meet our guide. Usually around 5, 6 o'clock, we'll all meet in the lobby, go somewhere, have a pre-tour meeting, kind of similar to the meeting I have with everybody, but it'll be more German-centric and what to expect. That evening, we have a welcome to our first day tour dinner. So, and that's always a good time.
It should be. It absolutely should be. And when we go around Bern, and Bern was where the Predators played one preseason game a few years ago, hometown of the team captain, Roman Josi, and also the home of a guy who was one of our coaches and was on the first Predators team, Sebastian Bordelot.
Oh,
he played there for 7 or 8 years. And you talk about a rousing welcome that he and Roman got.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, local heroes. That's always fun. All right. Day 2, we really get kicking. We have our guided sightseeing tour. I know in Italy you have to have local guides, and I'm sure that are experts just on that specific location. So I'm thinking it's that way throughout most of all of Europe now. So we'll meet up with our first guide, and there's rose gardens, cathedrals.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of stories pretty much around every corner. Then we visit where they make the alpine horns.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I will not be doing any demonstrations of what we have slated for later. I am not a confirmed yodeler, but we will have somebody who is.
Yes, that's right. There will be yodeling demonstrations, and I suppose someone from the audience, being Music City.
Yeah.
Not to digress, but somebody in Music City was the one who did the Yahoo commercial way back when they yodeled Yahoo.
Yes.
So if you're out there, you're welcome to tour with us.
And please join in.
Yeah. No pressure, though. Okay. So day 5, we're in Lucerne, and I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know what the right word is.
I think it's idyllic.
Yeah, it's very idyllic. It's and modern.
Yep.
And kind of a rich town. The cars there were very impressive. So the shopping is great. And
I just think that your eyeballs are going to get knocked out of their sockets by the sights there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I did do a Swiss tour once. We were there for a couple of days, and everyone loved it. A lot of beauty, a lot of history.
And pay close attention when we go past all the buildings and the cornerstones as to what year is on that, because that is what is also going to knock your imaginations for a loop.
Yeah, I remember the local guide talking about that. I wish I brought pictures with me right now, and then also the murals on the buildings were really fascinating.
Liechtenstein to Innsbruck.
I've never been to Austria, so this is all you, Pete.
Well, Innsbruck was where I spent the better part of a year, and better part being 10 months. And totally captivated us. There were 48 of us in a class of people from Notre Dame and St. Mary's colleges who went together there for our entire sophomore year. All our courses were taught auf Deutsch in German, and with the exception of American literature, which was smart.
Mhm.
And
That's funny.
and then we interacted with so many of the local students. And when we were there, and over 50 years ago now, Chuck, but it was when things got turned around because all of a sudden this one entity came into being there, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken,
No way.
invaded Austria.
Wow.
And then the other fast foods came in quite a bit later on. But the people enjoyed that, but not quite as much as their own cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a lot of interesting history with KFC.
Yes.
They just opened one in Palermo. I kind of want to go just to try it, just to see if it's
To get the extra crispy?
Yeah, the extra crispy. Yeah. So I was going to say, you have a choice on this tour. You can take one tour over another.
Yeah.
And it's been my experience, even if you just want to relax and hang out at a cafe or a bar, you strike up conversations. And I've always just enjoyed meandering.
I'll try to go and get the people set up at Lion House, which is where was our pizza hangout place.
Mhm.
My wife and I went back there a couple of years ago and brought a photo of our group, and they put it back up in the bar there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. That's where I had the first calzone of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Was
that's
there.
so funny. Yeah, the calzone. And I keep trying to introduce calzones and nobody wants them. Maybe after this trip, I can
I hope so.
reintroduce calzones to the Italian market. All right. And then day 7, we're in Salzburg,
Yeah.
the home of Mozart.
Where Mozart's Geburtshaus, Mozart's birthplace. And that was where we had our immersion courses, 2 5-hour semesters worth of German before going over there. But then we had to get into this immersion course at a castle, which now happens to be a casino, Schloss Klessheim. And that was an incredible discovery that we made there down in the basement. It had been one of the bunkers used by that regime back in the 30s and the 40s. And we would look on the wall, and there it would say you could pick up a hotline to Berlin, hotline to Berchtesgaden,
Wow.
hotline to Munich. And that was eye-opening to be seen.
Oh, yeah. The history there is still the modern history, too.
Yes.
It's like it's ancient, and yet at the same time, modern history is. It's almost in a way kind of overwhelming, like in America.
25 years is a long time.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll meet people who have lived in the same town or even the same house for 300, 400, 500 years. That's the fascinating part about getting in Europe and in these old towns and cities. I noticed that we're going to have lunch that day in the oldest restaurant in Austria.
Yes.
Yeah. Still run by monks after 1,200 years.
Well, they're the ones that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. That's a long gig. Owning a restaurant. Maybe I should get some of these monks because, no turnover.
Yes.
All right. Day 8, you have Folklore in Innsbruck.
Which that's going to be, the only limit is going to be your imagination. And I think that just going around that whole city, there's the old city, Maria Theresienstrasse, where they had the 2 Winter Olympic Games there in Innsbruck in 1964 and in 1976. So I was there directly in the middle of all of that. But while I was there, they were building the Olympic site in Munich for the 72 Games.
Yeah, it's really cool because I was just up in Lake Placid near my hometown and went and stopped. And
Did you do the Bob run, the Mount Ludenberg Bob run?
No, it was funny. I had an opportunity to do that as a kid. They would go down on shovels. This is back in the 80s, so it's a little more sophisticated and a lot more expensive now. But anyhow, it is really cool to see all that. I just love the Olympics, especially the Winter Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm partial to them as well.
Yeah. Day 9, we're in palaces, monks, Bern, Bavaria. So now we're in Germany.
The fun part. Now, just so you know, folks, Bavaria, the border touches that of Austria. So it's not exactly like you're going far, far away.
Mm-hmm. I'd love that. There's nothing like the festivities of the old culture and things like that.
Shall we recommend people pre-purchase lederhosen?
Oh, yeah, just to make sure they fit.
Yeah.
So that you get your sizes.
Yeah.
That's great. Are you going to bring yours?
Yeah. Mine's right back here in the back room here at the house.
Oh, fun. Yeah, you'll have to do that. 'Cause after a few, day 10, here's the thing about the tour.
Yeah.
The price doesn't change. You can go in a day early, which I often recommend. I recommend it to everybody. If you go in one day early, you kind of get a little head start on the jet lag. The jet lag's not bad going. Coming home
is a different story.
Coming home is, yeah, it's a different story. But at the same time, you're home, so it's not bad. I'd say we are going to have probably just under 30 people. It's a small tour bus. It's like a big coach, you could say.
Okay.
But they're very comfortable. The seats recline, and there's Wi-Fi on these coaches now and things like that. A lot of people have questions about insurance. You don't need insurance to travel with us, but I can talk to you about that and some options. And we have our own private sharing for photos.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really fun because it's...
One other bit of advice, though, you said.
Mm-hmm.
If you're about on that verge of getting a new phone...
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Get it.
Yeah.
So you can have almost unlimited photos.
Yeah, it is funny because it's not a phone anymore. It's a camera.
Right.
Yeah, these phones are amazing. Like I will mention again at the end of how I explain the tours, but we do a reunion dinner when we get back within a couple months. It depends. Sometimes maybe right after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's is a good time to get back together. Mm. All right, so I'm going to sign off with Pete, and then I'm going to continue on with how the tours work, how to sign up, and again, what to expect. All right, is that good, Pete?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so if you made it this far, it's safe to say that you're interested in going. And this is what happens next. Well, actually, let me just tell you how much fun we have. When you go as a group of friends that know each other, I can tell you over the years that I've been doing this, that it's really so much better when you go as friends. Before we travel, we will all meet at the restaurant like 3 months before we go. I host a brunch. There's an open bar. Everyone introduces themselves. I have a 20-page booklet that I'll go over about international travel, lots of tips. It'll save you a lot of angst. And that's another great thing about the tour. I have you fill out 20 questions about yourself. I make a booklet. It's just fun questions, born and raised, pets, kids, hobbies, sports teams, your first celebrity crush. That's my favorite question to ask. And I also take your picture. I make what I call a cheat sheet. It's just a little laminate with your photo and your name underneath, so you don't have to wear name tags. You can just keep it in your pocket. It's a great reference. And again, we're traveling as friends. So if you sign up, I'll send you an email with the link. It's very simple. You shouldn't have any trouble. If you do, just call me. It's a $698 deposit, and that's refundable by January 5th of 2026, 7 months prior to departures. After that date, you need some kind of trip insurance to get your money back. I'll send you some options. Really, the best trip insurance is the one that the company offers. It's so comprehensive, and it's usually within $50 of the competition. You can cancel for any reason, 24 hours up to departure. There's no forms, no medical requirements, no pre-existing conditions. It also does travel delays. You get money back, lost baggage, bag delays, emergency medical, dental, emergency evacuation. Let's not do that. Accidental death, also, please avoid that. And it's very simple to do. So after you sign up, I will send you an email. It'll have all the important things on there. And I keep emailing you through this process. From when you sign up, you'll get an email like 8 months out, 7 months out from me, 3 months out, 2 months out. Just reminders, things like that. If you can't make the brunch, I will send you a PDF of that 20-page booklet. I'll go over that with you over the telephone. And do not keep this a secret. It's so much fun to travel with friends and family. So send them this video and my phone number, and I will get back to them. The more, the merrier. It's so joyful. Many people have traveled with me 2, 3, 4, and up to 5 times. And that's just because we do it right and we do it as friends, and everyone falls in love with each other. All right. Well, thank you again for sticking with this long video, and I look forward to meeting you and talking to you soon. Ciao for now.